What's going on, everybody? Today at First Build, we're making twin Tomahawks out of these ball-peen hammers. Now, a lot of people ask me, hey, I'm starting out blacksmithing. What do I use? Can I use tools? Can I use metal from whatever? Well, today we're gonna show you that you can take reclaimed old tools and turn them into something awesome. So let's get started. All right, so right now we're gonna head over to the bandsaw. We're gonna cut these handles off, get the wood out, throw them in the forge. A lot of you have been asking me, can I use tools to make blades? Will it be hardenable? Is that a good steel? For the most part, yes. Tools have to be able to withstand abuse. They have to be made of some kind of hardenable steel. Otherwise, they're not gonna work. But I've personally used this brand of ball-peen hammer before. I know that it hardens up. It goes to a very high Rockwell, and I know that it can be tempered down. The reason I'm using a hammer is this right here. The eye, it's already set. I don't have to drift a hole. You have plenty of meat up here. You can draw that out into a nice axe head. You can do either a spike or a blade or a hammerhead on the back. And so that's what we're gonna do today. So this little piece of handle stuck in here, just burn it out in the forge. Don't worry about it. So people also ask me, hey, is this wood any good? Can I reuse it as my handle? Probably don't want to do that. By the time you cut this off of your hammer and then you put the head back on, you only have so much space to work with. What I went and got was 2 pieces of red oak. 2 inches by 2 inches is a little big. So I'm gonna cut this down to 1.5 inches. So let's fire up the table saw, cut these things down so I don't have to sand it all down later. So the easy part is drawing the material out. Once you have your material drawn out, you have to line up the edge, the beard, with your eye. And that can be a pain in the butt. But if you just have patience and you go back to the edge and the face of the anvil, if you use a vise and some different tools, you can slowly work it there. You gotta slow it down and try to get everything lined up. Now, working with 2 tomahawks at the same time is a little challenging. As this beard gets drawn out, it becomes very thin and then it starts to heat up very quickly. So I just had to take one out of the forge and set it aside, or otherwise it's gonna start to melt. So sometimes, you know, you got too many irons in the fire, you know what I'm saying? All right, everybody, so I got both of these all shaped up. I got them straightened out. I had to take a long time of just putting it in the vise, twisting it a little bit, get everything to line up straight with the eye. And now I'm ready to go to Quenchtown. Quenchtown, USA! Woo! Get those vapors going. That's pretty Charles in charge, if you know what I'm saying. So this is the first time I've ever done a double quench here at Fortunate First Build, so let's do it. All right, so these are the Tomahawks straight out of the quench. So for the temper cycle, I'm gonna put it in here at 450 degrees for 2 hours, and that should cover our bases. All right, these twin Tommies are out of the oven, so they're tempered, they're good to go, everything's straight, everything's tight. Let's get to grinding. Yeah. That's the sound of twin Tommies. Alright, so right now these Tomahawk heads, they're kind of sanded down. I want to put them in the acid, get a nice matte finish on them. Just let those bad boys cook. Alright, so right now I'm going to attach the handle to the axe head. Just going to go out in a diagonal here so I have more mass front and back. I'm going to sketch out my eye. And then I'm going to come down so far and just slowly work your way. This is a very tedious process. Fitting, taking off, fitting, taking off. Slow and steady, but it works. Alright, we're good to go on this handle. We've got it cut for a slot. We've got our wedge. We've got glue just in case. And we're going to put the head on, set the wedge, glue it all up, let it dry. Alright, this one is all glued up and I'm going to let the glue dry and then I'm going to go out and do it all over again. Oh, look at that. It's already done. Perfect. As you can see, our wedge looks really nice and tight. Still have a little bit of gapping at the front and back. I'm going to put some metal wedges in that will push material back that way, so I think we'll have a nice tight fit in the end. We got our head set, and some of you out there might be saying, hey man, that's not a traditional Tomahawk. They slide up from the bottom of the handle. That is true. Personally, I hate that method. It's just friction, it's centrifugal force holding the head on. Really don't like it, even with pins. It's just not for me. So I went with a traditional axe head. I'm going to give it some curvature. It's going to look really good. Now again, traditional Tomahawks usually had a straight handle. Sometimes they had some curves here and there. Alright, preliminary sanding. Done. I'm going to take the orbital out there, get it nice, down to maybe a 220, 320. And then we're going to put some color on this bad boy. Alright, so right now I'm putting a nice stainish oil finish on this Tomahawk. Got a walnut stain in there, so it's nice and dark. Very traditional. It was burned. And at this point, we've got twin Tomahawks, right? They were identical twins, but now they're going to be more like fraternal twins. I'm going to do a little something different on the other handle once it's done. So we'll mix it up just a little bit. We got Tommy number 2 right here. Let's shape it up. Do this thing. All right, everybody, looks pretty good. Turned out all right. A lot of work went into this, but guess what? It's not good. The beard does not line up with the handle. That's because the head was not seated perfectly. I went ahead and took the sides down right away, trying to get through this, and boom, not lined up. Now that's a problem because now our blade and our edge is off from our handle. So as you swing, you're expecting it to come down straight, but you're actually coming in at a slight angle, and that can cause deflection, that can cause a missed blow. There's no way to really get this head off with the wedge in there and the glue in there without damaging the whole piece. So it's time to just cut it off and do it all over again. Got a new handle on this one. So now I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna burn the wood just like before, but then I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I've got some red leather dye and some black dye gel, and I'm gonna try to get red on the bottom, black on the top, and then see if I can kind of blend them in a cool way here in the middle. So it might turn out terrible, it might turn out awesome. Either way, the great thing about wood is you can sand it down and start over. I don't know how well the gel is gonna work on wood. we're pretty much there, and they need a little bit of cleanup, but we're just gonna get them sharpened up, and then we're gonna go outside and see what they can do. All right, everybody, got 2 tomahawks. They're totally done. Let's slice some fruit. Let's see what else we can do.
Oh my God! How did that even happen?
I don't know.
That was tight. That was a
This is a great learning opportunity here. We've got 2 tomahawks that exploded on only maybe the second or third throw. I've made tomahawks before with oak, and it has held up just fine, and I've just beat it to death, but I know not all wood is made the same. I mean, the grain seemed fairly tight. I've seen tighter grain, and it runs, you know, parallel with the edge, the way you want it to absorb most of the blow, but that just exploded. So sometimes, you know, you're just at the mercy of natural materials, wood. You know, I hammered out these heads, I heat treated them, I did everything I could to them, but I can't make the tree any better, you know, make the wood any better. So, you know, it is embarrassing, but there's really nothing to be ashamed about. It just, the wood wasn't good enough, and I'm gonna have to find some better, and I had no idea until I threw them that they were just gonna explode. So let me go get some different wood. Let me stop using oak from the places I get it, and let's put some new handles on these bad boys, shall we? This piece of ash is from First Build. We harvested it from the forest. It's had plenty of time to get dense, to get hard, so this should be a great piece for our handles, and we're gonna pick out a section of straight, true grain, no knots, no abnormalities. The grain is pretty tight here if you look at the end. Gonna be nice and strong, and also this time around, I still want to keep some of this shape in the handle, some of that curvature, but I'm gonna bring it back slightly, straighten it out just a little bit more so we have more of that true grain running all the way through the center from the top to bottom. I think with all that, we're gonna be just fine. All right, everybody, we got some clean eyes right here. Now it's time to go out and do these handles yet again, but this time with a much denser, much harder, much better wood. Got handles back on. Put a little gun blue and did a lighter stain this time, or Danish oil. Just gonna have to clean this up a little, sharpen it, do the same thing to the other one, and then we're good to go. All right, let's go round 2 on those pumpkins. Thanks for going on this journey with me, everybody. We had some accidents, as you saw, but we put in the extra effort. We turned it around. Now I'm having fun, and it just goes to show that sometimes you can have problems, whether they're your fault or it's just an accident, something that happens, something you're not prepared for. It can be very frustrating, but you should never, ever give up. I was frustrated. I did not want to do it again, but we pushed through. They're much better this time, and I just want to encourage all of you out there, whether you're just starting or you've been doing it for a long time, don't ever give up and keep pushing, keep doing better. You're going to be better. As always, like and subscribe. Be sure to check out our other videos, and thanks for watching, everybody.